Dear friends, in this session, we are going to discuss the facts and the issues related to the agribusiness. Managing the agribusiness effectively in India is so crucial that it may not only facilitate an agricultural revolution but also lead to a balanced and sustainable development of the whole economy. In the past few years, remarkable progress has been made in the area to link agriculture with global demands through agribusiness and value addition initiatives. The policy makers, professional entrepreneurs, business houses, scientists, and researchers have already shown their excellence in handling the new challenges faced by different functional areas of agribusiness management. It's important for us to know the critical issues that may be encountered during the course of performing an agribusiness. Issues in agribusiness management. The word business was defined as buying and selling or trade or commercial work in the Oxford Dictionary. The word trade or commerce means exchange of goods as a means of livelihood or profit. In case of national accounts, agro-processing, production of agrochemicals and farm machinery, and trade, that is wholesaling and retailing, are considered as parts of manufacturing industry, that is industrial or service or the tertiary sector. With the structural transformation of the economy, the share of agriculture production, that is farming, in the economy is going down, and that of processing, distribution and trade is increasing. Further, with the increase in backward and forward linkages, the distinction between agriculture and agro industry is getting blurred. Farm production, processing, and trade are getting increasingly coupled. The word supply chain is being increasingly talked of and discussed. Supply chain is an coordinated system of organizations, people, activities, information, and resources involved in moving a product or service in physical or virtual form from supplier to the customer. Now, supply chain activities include transformation of raw material and components into finished products that are then delivered to the end customers. In the developed countries, agribusiness is defined as the total output arising from farm production and product processing at both pre and post farm gate levels. In developing countries like India, the agribusiness sector encompasses four distinct subsectors, namely agricultural inputs, agricultural production, agro processing, and marketing and trade. Now, need for agribusiness management. Where is the need for agribusiness management? Over the years, while the agriculture marketing and trade scenario has undergone tremendous changes, it has not changed enough to meet the emerging demand for such services. Some of the marketing system related limitations have been as follows. What are the limitations? The market is already large and is continuously expanding. The farmers' market linkages, both backward and forward linkages, have also increased manifold, but the marketing system has not kept in pace with it. Private trade, which handles around 80% of the marketed surplus, increased demand for value added services and geographic expansion of markets requires lengthening of the marketing channel, but this has been hampered by lack of rural infrastructure. Direct marketing by farmers to consumers remains negligible in 85% of the 27,294 rural periodic markets where small and marginal farmers come in contact with the formal economy. Facilities for efficient trade are still almost absent. For facilitating trade at the primary market level, nearly 7,161 market yards or subyards have been constructed, but they have become inadequate, ill-equipped and mismanaged. Food processing industry has a high multiplier effect and employment potential. But in India, the value addition to food production has been only around just 7%. Due to lack of proper handling, that is cleaning, sorting, grading and packaging, at the farm gate or the village level, about 7% of grains, 30% of fruits and vegetables and 10% of seed spices are lost before reaching the market. An estimated rupees 50,000 crore is lost annually in the marketing chain due to poorly developed marketing infrastructure and inefficient system of marketing activities. The State Agriculture Produce Markets Regulation, that is APMR Act legislation, has hampered the contract farming initiatives which otherwise can be highly beneficial to develop linkages of farmers with the markets. Farmers shifting to higher value crops face increased risks of fluctuation in yield, price and income, did not invest in marketing infrastructure due to excessive regulator framework and dominance of unorganized sector. Now, whether it is increasing the incomes of farmers, saving the national loss of farm, products along the traditional supply chain, or creating more employment opportunities, sound development of agribusiness provides a new frontier by creating an environment of much needed investment in agricultural marketing and trade as such. Size of Indian agribusiness, we will see to it. The size of agribusiness can be analyzed from the following different angles. The value of agricultural products marketed at the first point of sale during 2004-2005 was rupees 5,053 billion, which included rupees 3,323 billion of crop products, rupees 1,387 billion of livestock products, and rupees 343 billion of fisheries products. The value of farm inputs marketed during 2004-2005 was rupees 727 billion, which included seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, insecticides, repair and maintenance services, livestock feed, fodder, organic manure and electricity or diesel. The value of agro-processed products during the year 2004-2005 was rupees 4,169 billion, in which rupees 2,960 billion was from registered manufacturing units and rupees 1,209 billion from unregistered manufacturing establishments. These included processed dairy products, meat and fish, fruits and vegetables, edible oils, grain milling products, beverages, tobacco and leather products. Considering all these segments, primary agricultural products, farm inputs and processed products, total value of agribusiness was arrived at rupees 9,949 billion. These apart value addition takes place during the marketing system. During 2004-2005, value addition from trade and hotels and restaurant activities, that is the gross domestic product, has been estimated as rupees 4,178 billion and rupees 416 billion respectively. If at least 20% of value addition in trade is considered on agriculture related products, that is in brackets if we can say, and 100% in hotels and restaurants, these activities are worth rupees 1,251 billion. Agribusiness also includes trade and sales of imported agricultural products. Total value of imported agricultural or processed products in 2004-2005 was rupees 228 billion, which included rupees 111 billion worth of edible oils. Thus, the total Indian agribusiness is worth at least rupees 11.43 trillions of rupees, 11,43,000 crores as such. The size of agribusiness, of Indian agribusiness, can also be looked at from the angles of the structure of agribusiness in India. The primary producing units are around 121 million operational holdings, of which 63%, that is 76 million, are of less than 1 hectare in operating on an average of 0.4 hectares of land. Assembling of farm products from such a large number of small production units is a huge task. There are around 5 million wholesale traders and 11.2 million retailers of agricultural and other commodities. Out of 11.2 million retail outlets, 3.7 million are estimated to be food retail outlets. Agro industries include both organized and unorganized sector units. There are 17.0 million units in the unorganized sector, of which 13.91 million are agro-based. Out of 13.91 million agro-industrial units in the unorganized sector. Now, 12.32 million are own account manufacturing establishments, where we can call it as OAME. 1.2 million are non-directory manufacturing establishments, where we can call them as NDME, and 0.39 million are directory manufacturing establishments, that is, we call it as DME as such. There are 5.11 million food processing units in the unorganized sector, of which 4.62 million are OAMEs, 0.36 million are NDMEs, and 0.13 million are DMEs. The units in the organized sector are few in number, but account for a bulk of the total gross value addition. There are 35,000 modern rice mills, 20,000 pulse mills, 5,198 fruit and vegetable processing units, and 400 fish processing units. There are 426 sugar mills and 3,619 grinding and pressing units. Most of the food processing units are in the unorganized sector, and Indian food market continues to be dominated by the fresh food segment. Now, according to one estimate, Indian food market comprises 10% processed segment, 15% semi-processed segment, and 75% as fresh food segment. Processing is reported to be around 2% in fruits and vegetables, 37% in milk, 21% in meat, 6% in poultry, and 11% in marine fish. Fruit and vegetable processing is projected to go up to 10% by 2010, taking the food processing segment to 32% of the total food market. The overall value addition in food products, which is currently 8%, is likely to increase to 35% by 2025. Emerging areas of agribusiness. As already mentioned, for improving the efficiency of the marketing system, there is a need of substantial investment in marketing infrastructure, both physical and institutional. The investment needs and opportunities for investors exist in the following broad areas of production, processing, infrastructure, trade, and others. Let's know about each of these in details. Beginning with production sector, it involves production of high yielding seeds, production of high quality planting material, including use of tissue culture methods of micro propagation, nurseries, including hardening nurseries. Next, organic farming, production of microbial cultures and vermi compost and floriculture. Let's move to processing sector now. This involves fruit and vegetables processing, including dehydration, canning, aseptic packaging, processing of underutilized fruits, and processing for other products like grape, resin, osmo air dried fruits, fruit toffee, bleached dried ginger, and spices powders. Processing of maize for starch and feed through improved mini small mills and dry milling plants. Processing of millets for various purposes, including malt from finger millets and RTE, that is ready to eat products. Processing of sugarcane for various Jaggery products like spiced jaggery, powdered jaggery, and jaggery cubes as such. Next, processing of herbal and medicinal plants, processing of dairy products, processing for poultry products, including poultry dressing, and processing of livestock products and livestock wastes. Let's move to the infrastructure sector. This sector includes cool chain infrastructure, including cold stores, storage and warehousing, specialized transport services, packaging infrastructure, including pack houses and agri clinics and service centers. Trade and others involves procurement through contract arrangements, including contract farming, retailing, supply chain management, and capacity building, including human resource development in agribusiness. Many of these activities can be taken up by small and micro enterprises, that is SMEs. The employment potential of SME sector is very high. It already employs 67 million people and has grown at a rate of 4.4% per annum during the 10th five-year plan. These apart, several companies and food chains are now sourcing agricultural products from India to feed their outlets across the world. Further, our exports in several agricultural subsectors are increasing. For example, India now is a net exporter of livestock products. During the triennium ending 2006, our exports were valued at $676 million, which included $441 million worth of bovine meat. The food miles, the distance food travels are increasing due to developments in food technology, transport technology, ICT, and biotechnology. The India's food companies are also globalizing. India's food industry transnationality index had increased from 59 in 1990 to 79 in 1991 and is the highest among all the industries. Recent initiatives what they have taken. For the promotion of agribusiness, several initiatives have been taken during the past 5 years which have created a favorable environment for the growth of agribusiness in India. Several marketing related restrictions have been withdrawn or it has been replaced. Amendments in State Agriculture Produce Markets Regulation Acts are being made to facilitate setting up of private markets, direct purchases of farmers' produce, and contract farming arrangements. Several monetary concessions have been announced by the central and state governments. These include 100% excise exemption for 10 years, 100% income tax exemption for 5 years, later withdrawal in phases, and capital investment subsidy of 15% up to rupees 30 lakhs as such. Keeping in view the growing importance of agri-exports in improving farmers' incomes, government has set up several agri-export zones, AEZs, what we generally call it as. Further, to help exporters in meeting phytosanitary requirements, several initiatives have been put in place. Regulatory authorities at the state level have been notified. The quality standards have been harmonized and publicized, and requirements of necessary documents have been specified. Every exporter is required to obtain an IEC, that is Import Export Code, from the Director General of Foreign Trade and then get registered with the APEDA. Those who plans to export some products can either register themselves or contact registered export houses, whose names and details are available on websites of APEDA and Indian Trade Promotion Organization. While Indian companies are increasingly entering the retail business, foreign direct investment, that is FDI, in retail is not allowed. It is allowed in franchising and commission agent services. It is also allowed in wholesale business with case by case approval from the Reserve Bank of India. However, foreign retailers can operate in India through joint ventures where Indian partner is an export house. Franchising, local manufacturing, sourcing from small scale sector, example McDonald's, and through cash and carry operations, example Metro in Bangalore. Considering that traditional supply chain is fragmented, there is presence of a large number of intermediaries and the existing market yards are dominated by the association of few traders. The growth of organized retail through India's corporate sector of FDI provides several advantages. It brings in new technical know-how in marketing and reduces inefficiency in the supply chain. It improves quality of services to the consumers and creates employment for the youth. It also helps in achieving international quality standards and thus boost exports, leading to increase in farmers' incomes. The concerns here is the major concern, the issues that are emerging relate to the need for change in the paradigm of functioning of the agricultural systems. What is needed is improvement in the existing marketing system that reduces costs by saving the losses in the marketing chain, increasing the competition, thereby reducing undue profits of some intermediaries and creating the additional employment opportunities in the agricultural marketing system. This would help farmers, consumers, as well as unemployed youths. There is considerable potential of creating more lucrative and attractive jobs for the youth in agribusiness activities. Supermarkets and retail chains will need many times more young business graduates. It needs to be noted that already between 2000 and 2005, India created 1.1 million jobs per year. This is the highest among BRICS countries, that is Brazil, Russia, India and China countries as such. However, the changes in agri-food systems have significant implications for growth, poverty and food security. On the positive side, agribusiness is responding to the strong consumer demand for high value commodities, processed products and pre-prepared foods. There is in fact expansion of demand for farm products. It provides new opportunities to farmers for value addition, while agro-processing firms provide those crucial inputs and services and also cover a part of the risk. If properly used and understood, it should turn out to be bonanza for the farmers. Investment is flowing thick in agribusiness, and agribusiness and supermarket retail boom is a new mantra. Many companies have already invested billions either directly or through local partnerships. There is likelihood of agribusiness firms with all their managerial abilities finding new ways to use the demand opportunities. However, fears are being expressed that by virtue of their capital and scale operations, these firms may space out small traders, processors and retailers. In this context, two most important issues today relate to A. Expansion of organized retail segment and B. Entry of global players in the retail sector. Our focus here is on agriculture commodities including food products. Entry of global agribusiness firms. The other equally important issue relates to the entry of global agribusiness firms in the Indian market for trade, particularly the retail sector. No doubt, global firms bring with them technology, capital, and managerial skills, but there are several other aspects that need to be kept in view while allowing foreign direct investment in the retail sector. First, global firms, by their very strategy, maximize their profits by procuring or purchasing from globally cheapest markets, areas, or countries and indulging in dumping, leading to pricing out of domestic producers and local small retailers. Second, global agricultural trade is highly asymmetric in the sense that there is a large number of producers, very few traders and a large number of consumers. It has been reported that top 10 companies' control on global trade is 84% in agrochemicals, 51% in seeds, 24% in food retail and more than 90% in food grains trade. That is Centat report or 2000 we can see that. Third, owing to the concentration of trading power among few companies, international decline in basic commodity prices has not resulted in cheaper food in importing countries as such. And fourthly, Global firms indulge in lobbying to influence the national and international policies in their favor. It is in this context that the option of allowing entry of global firms and FDI in the retail sector needs to be carefully analyzed. China has restricted foreign holding only up to 49% in the retail sector. Philippines has imposed sourcing and reciprocity requirement on foreign retailers. India will also need to put in place adequate safeguards in this area. To sum up the whole session, that is the conclusion. In this session, we discussed about the need for a management system in agribusiness. We also measured the volume of agribusiness. Finally, we identified the issues and concerns relating to the agribusiness management. A shift from agriculture to agribusiness is being viewed as an essential pathway to revitalize Indian agriculture. While the share of pure agriculture in gross domestic product may decline, the share of agribusiness will not and is bound to go up with the demand for value addition continuously increasing. It is in this context that it has long been argued for redefining agriculture as the science and practice of activities relating to production, processing, marketing, distribution, and trade of food, feed, and fiber. Implicit in this definition are two ideas. One is that while planning and macro managing the agriculture sector, the focus should now shift from only production to production plus all other associated activities that constitute agribusiness as such. And second is the shift from production to innovation, which is the specific requirement of entrepreneurship. Essentially, entrepreneurs are innovators. Innovation has been the key to success of every entrepreneur, be it a farmer or trader. Entrepreneurs strive to compete with others through innovations. Through innovations, small farmers or small enterprises are able to counter the disadvantages. Having discussed about the facts and issues related to the agribusiness management, we are sure that more practical, logical, and simple remedy can be formulated for curbing the issues that hinders the success of an agribusiness.